Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So it's been a little while since I posted my last video on the IS300 dash. I've just been out traveling a couple days a week for my real day job, and I just haven't had time to actually work on my car and do stuff for YouTube. So today I'm gonna go ahead and put that new dash, the one that I refinished a couple videos ago, back together. We're gonna go ahead and put it back in the car and get everything buttoned up. So I've got that sticky dash that I pulled out of the car right here on the floor. I have to transfer the airbag, all the HVAC vents and everything behind there over to the new dash, the one that's been refinished and it's just been sitting here waiting to get all the parts. I chose to just reuse these instead of using the ones I took off of there just because I took that apart like 2 years ago and I don't know where all the hardware is. So I'm just go ahead and just use everything off of here. That way I know exactly where everything goes. In addition to the dash pieces transferring over to the new parts, the center console pieces, the cup holder, all the parts for the armrest and everything I need to transfer over to this one that I refinished on the new center console. As you can see, I've got my new leather boot that I put on here for the e-brake. So that thing's all ready to go. I had to transfer that and use the original bracket and everything that snaps into here and glue it on. But this thing looks good now. This thing was like $30 on eBay, but it fits pretty well. I just had to open this up a little bit, but overall it's a pretty good copy of the original OEM one. If you guys didn't know, the center consoles are basically all the same, even on the 2001 one, the one that's missing the armrest. The only thing different is that little spot right here is missing over here. There's actually a plug, but the hole is actually there on the newer one. You just need to transfer all that stuff over. All the molding, all the holes for the screws and everything are all in the same spot. So it's a matter of just taking the screws apart, putting it over here and screwing it back on and getting all that back together. So that's the first thing we're gonna do before we get to the dash. All right, I was able to take everything apart pretty easy. This is all a bunch of Phillips screws except for the two 10mm for the airbag. I went ahead and took apart all the metal brackets and everything. I'm gonna just transfer it over there and replace those other metal brackets that were on that other dash. These are those metal brackets right here. Went ahead, all the piping and HVAC is all out, so it should bolt right in. My vents on this one are still perfectly good, nothing broken, so that's good. I'm gonna go ahead, since I have everything apart, I'm gonna go ahead and clean everything with some 303 protectant, especially the ducts and the inside the ducts and any kind of residue and dust in there before I put it all back together. I think this airbag cover is non-melting also off mine. So I'm gonna go ahead and just use that versus the one that came with the 2001, just because I think this one's in better condition anyways. It hasn't been sitting outside in the junkyard getting all weathered up. Aside from that, should be pretty straightforward bolt on and we'll have the dash ready. All right, we're able to transplant everything over to the new dash. Got everything put back in. I did put a coat of 303 UV protectant on here just to shine it all up and to provide ultraviolet protection up here on this area, especially once it's on the dash and we can't get to it. But it does look shiny now and black. I was able to clean the underside and all the pipes and vents and everything with that same 303 protectant and got everything put together. Put all the sensors and everything over. On camera I didn't show putting these back on, but you should put these sensors back on first because once you put the ducts in, it kind of blocks a few of the tabs that the wire harness snaps to, so you gotta actually reach for that. So that got in there. The ducts and everything are cleaned out and new. Pretty much everything snaps in, airbag is in, bolted down. So we're just gonna go ahead and just slide this right back into the dash the way we took it out. Should be fairly easy because if you saw my video, we yanked it out, it came straight out, and now we just push it straight back in and put everything back together. All right, so we got the dash snapped in here. It was pretty simple just to get everything lined up. I had to line up the airbag, kind of get the bolts in place. Once I got the airbag in place, everything else kind of lined up properly, and you just give it a punch right here on the edges and on the corner here, and it all kind of pops in. So you just got to line up these studs right here. There's a stud up here, and then all these little holes and brackets right here kind of all fall into place. Once they fall into place and everything's good, just go find where you put all your hardware and then bolt it all back together. I'm gonna go ahead and put the steering column back up temporarily just to hold it up so I have more room to put my legs. I'm gonna start bolting up all the dash pieces and getting this all in. All right, getting that steering wheel column and steering wheel and everything back up here was kind of a pain in the ass. I ended up having to take this little duct out, which I should have taken out when I did the original dash to pop out. It comes out pretty easily. It just got these 3 compression clips right there. You just take a flat head and then just bend it a little bit. Don't bend it too much where you're gonna break it on the top and the bottom, and this thing pops right out, and it helps the steering column drop much better, and it doesn't block that one immobilizer box that I messed up when I was removing it, and it gives you much more room to work with. So just remember when you're removing the dash to pop this thing out first to make your life a little bit easy. Other than that, we're gonna go ahead and just get all the screws and everything back in. All right guys, we got everything back in the car. Look at how nice and clean everything looks now. No more sticky dash. Got that two-tone, but it's not overly two-tone just because it kind of blends in with that dark black dash already with this graphite gray pearl. Everything's back together again. Just got junk everywhere, just gotta do final cleanup, make sure I get everything back in place. But I can tell you guys, I got every bolt and every nut back in here. Unlike some of y'all that are gonna do this, I know you guys are gonna leave some of this stuff out, but I'm pretty OCD about that, and I got every nut and bolt, every wire back where it's supposed to be. And we're gonna go ahead and get this, so we'll go ahead and wrap this project up. Thanks for tuning in all the way to the end of this video on me getting that dash put in the car. As you can see, it's a pretty straightforward process to put it all back into the car. You just gotta remember where all your bolts and your nuts and where everything goes. Luckily, I was able to find all my bolts and screws and everything. I got everything back in. I got all the wire harnesses, all the wire clips and everything back to where they were supposed to be. The OCD in me just wants to get all that stuff back in the car the way it was, the way I found it. If you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet to stay on top of all my different videos, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Turn on bell notifications so every time I upload a video, it notifies you and you can check it out. Stay tuned for the channel. I'm getting ready to do my manual swap now that I've got the dash done. In a future video, we'll go through all the steps and everything to do the manual swap. I'll do that kind of one step at a time for each major component on the car, so that way it's a very thorough DIY project. Anyway guys, remember, for all these different projects, if I can do it, you guys can do it. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time.